The last time the NOVAR Verizon Cup Series drivers hit the track, Chandler Blake held off multiple charges from Shane Harden to win his second race of the season, his first time doing that since 2010. We head to the Blue Ridge Superspeedway, a track very similar to California. The only difference is that this track has a lot more grip than it is over at California. Our big storyline heading into this weekend was the potential downfall of rain that we'd be having over the weekend, as we would have a 100% chance of rain from Wednesday to Friday, which those consisted of qualifying races, practices, and time trials. The qualifying races and time trials were canceled, so as a result, the first 12 cars not locked into the race were automatically given spots into the race. And then time trials, the starting grid was based on owners' points. So as a result, Chandler Blake, the points leader and the event last week's race winner, will start on the pole for this race, with Cody White, the second place man in points, starting second. As the good news for the Verizon Cup Series drivers, as initially reported, it was a 90% chance of rain coming down. However, the good news is that later on, the later weather predictions changed that from 90% to 60%. Although there is still a good chance that we'll get rain potentially coming down throughout the race weekend, but still, there is a high potential of rain. And as a result of this, NOVAR officials have pushed the start time of this race, which was supposed to be starting at about 8 p.m. They have pushed it to 6:45 to prevent a potential rainfall that would happen if somehow the rain came down. Now we'll head to Kendall Johnson for the race. So thanks, Jerry. We get the start of this race. Chandler Blake and Cody White, the top two in points, will start 1 and 2. Mark Mangillo, third place man in points, starts third. As there we go. The inside line gets the preferred line off of turn 2, and Mangillo is going to get to second. Carolyn's going to get to third, as that outside line didn't really get a good of a start as we thought we would, but now going into turn number 3, Jake Carolyn looks like he will try to go for that. No, he can't. Mark Mangillo got a better run off that corner, and looks like Chandler Blake's going to lead the first lap of this race here at Blue Ridge. There you see, we already got 3 wide racing behind, as unlike California, we actually have Super Speedway racing, and it's actually the Super Speedway package. First caution flying lap number 1, as Brian Wilson gets turned by Corey Von Doga, Jared Lancels, Shane Truex, and Evan Brooks were all collected, and I believe it's the second race in a row that Evan Brooks has been involved in the first caution. We would have our Blue Ridge post-caution shenanigans as Alan Kimmel gets turned into the wall by Scott Johnson. We will take the restart in lap 5 as Mark Mangillo in the number 20 is the leader of this race. Casey Hutto is in second. Chandler Blake, the race leader, ended up hitting. Carolyn will about to lose that spot to Casey Lister in the 12 as they head out of turn number 2. Looks like the 19-year-old Hutto is going to get to the bottom, is going to try to go for the lead. Looks like Hutto has a good enough run to get there. Casey Lester and David Scott, the two teammates, are now helping each other. Now looks like the Silver Green Racing Cars are going to go for the lead, as the 12 of Casey Lester looks like Lester's going to get the lead. David Scott's going to look for it, as they're now 3 wide heading into turn number 1. So looks like, and then David Scott's going to have the line, and it looks like David Scott will get the lead. Walter Green in the 39 is going to get a good enough run. It looks like he's going to look under the bottom of the 18, and now Walter Green in the 39 is going to take the lead away from the number 18. Jake Killen is going to be there as well. But we have our next caution, lap 7. Sean McDowell turns Stephen Volk, and the 29 gets on his side. So Stephen Volk gets on his side, and the 29 gets it back going as nobody else would hit them. And then we have a second series of post-caution shenanigans. Jake Killen turns Brandon Green, who Killen turns himself into Walter Green. No other damage was done as a result of that. On the restart, Blake Battaglione in car number 50 would be the leader on the restart. With Chris Bell in second, and then Casey Lester third, and then Shane Nargan in fourth. Chris Bell's successes from this season have basically come on the super speedways, as he won at Dentsville, but then hasn't really done it. He actually He actually dominated at Dentsville, but blew a motor. But he ended up blowing the motor just about almost 3/4 of the way through. As looks like Chris Bell's going to go for the lead. And then the Silver Green Racing Cars, I don't know why they did this, but the 12 of Lester and the 32 of Nargan would end up pulling down to the pits. This would effectively take both of them out of the race because of this. As Chris Bell is going to be in the lead, Blake Battaglione is now in the second spot. As looks like Alan Kimmel gets third, Shane Bliss in fourth, and I believe Jay Anonori is in fifth. 38 of Chris Bell's own different colors. Normally, we've traditionally seen him in the blue number 38. However, this year they swapped him to a lime green. The color is almost the same thing as Jay Illinois. However, the difference is you could tell by the orange. The 01 has slight orange, while the 38 is just plain green. Our third caution, lap 14. Damon Scott gets into Casey Hutto, and the 19 comes up and gets the 23. The 75, Carson Brooks. Shane Harden's collected. Then Shane Norgan almost runs right into the back of the 75, and almost does, as there will be no damage done on that 32 car, surprisingly. So really good driving by the number 32 is Shane Norgan. Casey Lester, Cody White in the number 22 would lead on this restart, with Mark Mangillo right behind him. Logan Chin is in the third spot. As out of turn number 2, looks like the 20 of Mangillo is going to try to peek to the inside. It looks like he will, as Mangillo, the Dentonville winner, is going to try to go for the inside. And looks like Cody White shuts the door but can't get enough of it. And looks like the 20 of Mangillo will be trying to go for the lead, and looks like Mangillo will get the lead as they come across by. Damon Scott is, I believe, a lap down, or I believe he's on the lead lap. So we'll get back to that. And then Shane Norgan, Damon Scott, teammates at Silver Green Racing, take each other out, and add insult to injury. Cody White was the one that pushed into Shane Norgan. So that was kind of questionable by the Silver Green Racing cars, as that was our fourth caution of the day. However, a big boneheaded move. Shane Bliss just decides to come down and take Luke Warner along with him. The 12 of Michael Scott, the 12 of Casey Lester, and the 22 of Cody White are also in there. So basically, within a whole lap, all 4 of the Silver Green Racing cars are basically involved in a wreck of some type. There you see Brian Wilson was also in there. The 38 Chris Bell will lead on this restart, with CJ Gordon in second, Justin Cleeks in third, and fourth would be Connell Zuki. As the 48 of CJ Gordon's going to try to get to the bottom of the racetrack, as looks like he will actually, CJ Gordon will get by the 38 very easily. DM Racing, they've had some successes here. They have successes on the Super Speedway program. CJ Gordon, I believe, had crashed out at Dentonville, but he was running up front practically the entire race up there. And then Justin Klingston almost did the Grand Slam at Dentonville, winning the Rookie Shootout, Thunder Shootout, and I believe he came very close to winning the duel, and then almost won the Dentonville 250. So his average finish was about second there. As no, coming out of turn 2, looks like Klingston's going to get to the lead, as Norgan is a lap car, by the way. So looks like CJ Gordon's going to try to take the lead right back from the number 24. So the 48 of CJ Gordon will take the lead right back. And then we have another caution on lap number 28. Blake Montagliana gets turned by somebody, and this will set up a chain reaction crash. A couple of cars would be involved. Shane Harden's in there, Mark Mangillo, Shane Bliss, Stephen Volk, Cody White was also up in there. And then here's from Casey Littinger's perspective. Littinger comes down. Damon Scott hits the inside wall hard, but he hit it from the rear. And the 5 of Casey Littinger hits his number 5 hard from the rear. There you see Luke Warren in the 14. He took the worst of this, right? As there you see the 5 would continue on going. Here's from Mark Mangillo's perspective. He bounces off the 50 and then slides it, and it also backs it into the inside wall hard. So we have already had 3 rear end impacts. However, the good news is that all 3 of the cars that took the rear end shots were actually being able to keep on going. The 10 of Sean McDowell was also collected. Here's from Stephen Volk's perspective. He tries to get through, but apparently he was clipped from the back, I believe from Carter Pavis, as he spins it around. He spins it, almost gets the inside wall, but comes back up the racetrack, brings it back up, and then he'll get hit by the 66 of Jason Duke, and almost gets hit by Shane Harden there. And here's what's happened to Luke Warren. There was contact, he got pushed up to the inside, and we lose the roof camera from the 14. But however, there was rain in the area as reported under the caution, and so the race was red flagged for about an hour due to the rain. However, it would get restarted on lap 32 with Walter Green leading the race. As Chandler Blake is in second, Logan Chin third, Justin Klingston fourth, Scott Howard in car 25 is in fifth. As looks like Blake is going to try to get under the 39, makes a risky move, goes it through the middle. The lap car of Shane Norgan was also trying to make a very risky move. As looks like Blake is going to get, and not only Blake's going to try to go 3 wide under the 39 of Walter Green, but he will also try to go under the lap car as Chandler Blake is the race leader. Kingston, I believe, is going to try to go for the lead under the 15, under the 39. Now he's going to try to go for the lead on the 15. The 8 of Walter Ethan is a lap down, as Kingston is going to get by the 15. And now we have a new race leader. Looks like Scott Howard in the 25 is going to try to make it 4 wide, which that seems kind of dangerous here, as most of the big crashes that we've seen in the past have come from 4 wide situations. As now they're going to head on a turn 4. Looks like Logan Chin at the 72. He's going to pit. That's going to stack up the field. And that's going to be a crucial part, because that's actually going to bring out the next caution. Brandon Green in the 30 makes contact with the 42 of Shane Bliss, Jake Killen. They all start sliding in the back. One car hard in the inside wall, and it was a white car. I think that was Jake Killen, if I'm not mistaken. But there you see Casey Huto in there. Here's from Jake Killen's perspective. Comes out, shoots back to the inside, and it hits that inside wall very hard. We do hope Killen is okay, and that gets hit hard again by Corey Von Delga. So 2 vicious hit by the 76, and Killen would have to get medically assisted from the medic personnel. As here's from Mark Mongiller's perspective, he actually gets spun around, gets hit from Cody White, and then actually gets it back going. But then we have another big wreck. Jared Lansell gets into James. Oh! And then Carter Pavis gets stuck on the wall. And as a result of this, it would bring out another red flag because of the damage. And there you see Blake Battagliano was also collected. Jamie Scotty in the 9 was also collected, as well as the 50. He's going to try to get back going. And Scotty just runs into the back of the 50. So on the restart, the 15 of Chadler Blake was leading on the restart. Justin Kingston is the 2nd place driver. Jay Honore is in 3rd place. CJ Gordon is in 4th. Todd Piper 5th. Chadler Blake at the 15, he will get a decent cushion over the 24 of Justin Kingston, as looks like Jay Honore will actually hang on to the middle line. There you see Logan Chin and Cameron Brooks. Cameron Brooks was actually, I believe, on the lead lap. He restarted 6th, I believe. And now Cameron Brooks is going to be a serious threat. He could try to go for the race lead. It looks like he will, as he got by pretty much everybody on the inside. But Brooks does not have the car, and looks like he's going to fall back. So as a result, Chandler Blake is going to still retain the race lead. As we see Jay Honore will try to get there. Our next caution will fly on lap number 42. Chris Bell gets turned by Todd Piper, and that sets up another big crash. Casey Lester's involved. Jay Truex, Tony Wider, and Kyle Zuki are involved. And we got Evan Brooks is in there. Sean McDowell. I think that's all. But here's from Shane Truex's perspective. He tries to come down, gets the 35, and then the 35 gets the 71, and all 3 of them go spinning. Casey Uto gets collected. Shane Harden's collected. Blake Battagliano was collected as well. So then we have another restart on lap 46. Shane Clark 3rd was the race leader. CJ Gordon is in 2nd. Chadler Blake 3rd. As looks like the 98 of Clark will hang on and actually get 3 wide. Be forced by the 88 and the 72. And as a result, this is going to get Jay Honore going to get to the lead of this race. And the 15 of Chandler Blake is also going to be up there. So it looks like Honore is going to get to the lead with Cameron Brooks. Right now, looks like Brooks is going to take the lead. And Chandler Blake's going to pit this time by. We would have our 8th and final caution fly out on lap 51. Contact between somebody, I think it was the Piper cars. And as a result, the 71 of Kanazuki, the 26 of Todd Piper. Those cars are upside down. Shane Harden's rolling. The 20 of Mongillo hit somebody hard. I think that was the 71. But here's the replay of that. As you get several cars turned around. The 2 cars go upside down. I think that was Kanazuki was turned upside down. Damon Scott's collected. Mark Mongillo just hits the 71 hard. It's just, I believe that almost looked like full speed, but Mongillo, I think, tried to slow down. But here's from Walter Green's perspective. Here's from the back end of the wreck. Damon Scott was collected. Comes down, gets rear-ended by the 42 of Shane Bliss. And then Mark Mongillo hits the 71 hard. Jamie Scott also hit him as well. But here's from Shane Harden's perspective. He tries to slow down and then gets, I think he was just run into, I think the 30 just ran under the 59. And that sends the 59 rolling for several barrel rolls. So on the restart would happen on lap 55. CJ Gordon was the race leader. Chadler Blake was the last car on the lead lap. As Shane Clark 3rd, I don't think he got a good restart at all. So this would be, and this would actually be even with the And as a result, this would create with the Blake on the last car on the lead lap, and some of the inside line cars, which were a lap down, which some of them actually still had some really good horsepower. They just probably mistimed their pit stops. This would create a very interesting battle in 20th, and then also have the battle for the lead molded in there, as CJ Gordon is currently holding the lead, although the 33, 31, and 98 are also going to be up there to possibly contend for the race lead. As there you see, Alan Kimmel, he's going to go under the 72 of Logan Chin. Shane Nargan Kimmel's going to try to pass Shane Nargan in the 32 as well. And then the 8 of Walter Youth and CJ Gordon's going to try to get that track position and try to get ahead of these drivers. So if another caution does come out, they could potentially, I think, so looks like CJ Gordon could potentially put them a lap down again. They would basically be like this until lap 85 through 89, which this will be green flag stops. CJ Gordon did not make his stop until lap 89. And as a result of this would create some very interesting battles that will be leading towards the finish due to this. The first of which would be the battle for the eventual 9th spot, which were contested by Shane Nargan and Chandler Blake, as these two have been very close to each other for pretty much the entire season. And then the battle for second between Ronald Portland, Shane Clark III, Tony Wider, and Jared Lancel, as this would be the eventual battle for second. As now they're going to head out of turn number 2. But meanwhile, back up front, the 48 is CJ Gordon. He's going to take the white flag this time by. He has about a 16-second gap, so he's going to let the mistakes fold through with him in the 48. As looks like Gordon, he first made his appearance in the 2012 Boston race, replacing Sean McDowell. He did fairly well. However, he got his most notorious role when he took over for Lucas Wikes, who got severely injured in a crash in Las Vegas. He won a couple of races, but didn't win the championship. That was enough for DM Racing to tap him in, and that experience is going to help him through. CJ Gordon is going to win here at Blue Ridge. But meanwhile, back up front, we still have some interesting battles to focus on. Chandler Blake at the 15 and Shane Nargan. This is racing back to the finish. Nargan's going to run the car wide. He's going to get held by the 38 of Chris Bell. Chandler Blake in the 15 is going to get by the 32. Looks like Blake and Nargan are getting by the 27 of Keith Hales, who was running in the 10th, who was actually running in the 9th spot at the time. They don't have enough time to catch Casey Littinger, and that means Casey Littinger will finish 8th, Chandler Blake 9th, and Shane Nargan finishes 10th. The battle for second will also be very interesting. This looks like Shane Clark III has that second spot right now, but the tri-racing cars of Brooks, Wider, and Portland will all be trying to battle it out for third. And Jared Lancel's also in there. Looks like the 98 of Clark will get the second spot, but the battle for third is going to be side by side between Wider and Lancel. And to the line, I think it was Tony Wider, as we're going to have to see by replay. And according to this, Tony Wider did beat the 13 back to the line, but we'll have to get NOVAR confirmation to see if that is true. But most likely it will be. So CJ Gordon pretty much dominates this race and wins by a 16.5-second margin of victory over Shane Clark III, and that battle that we saw for second. Tony Wider gets third spot. He barely edged out Jared Lancel after they reviewed the footage and they confirmed it. So they confirmed Tony Wider will get the third spot. Jared Lancel will get fourth. Cameron Brooks in the 33 gets fifth, and Ronald Portland gets sixth. And for the first time in team history, Tri Racing gets all 3 of their cars in the top 10 for the first time in team history. So the battle from second to sixth, that was a very interesting battle and came down to the wire as it was formed up after green flag pit stops. Stephen Volk was the lone car out there. He was 3 seconds behind that aforementioned pack. He gets a solid 7th place spot. Casey Littinger almost got passed by Chandler Blake and Shane Nargan, but he retains the 8th spot. Chandler Blake and Shane Nargan had the duel for the 9th spot, and ultimately it was won by Chandler Blake after Nargan made a mistake while trying to maneuver the lap traffic and keep Hales. And now we take a look at the point standings. Chandler Blake is our points leader and retains the points lead. However, this time the gap is extended to 23. Shane Clark III is second in points. He got his second top 3 finish in the last 3 races. Cody White drops to third. He is 24 points back and 1 point behind Shane Clark III. And Keith Hales is 1 point behind Cody White in the 4th spot. Todd Piper remains in the 5th spot with a 30-point deficit. And then Mark Mangillo drops to 6th with a 42-point deficit and a 12-point deficit from Todd Piper. CJ Gordon with his win jumps up 9 spots to the 7th spot. And then rounding out the top 8 is Casey Lester in the number 12, who had an average day. And now we take a look at 9 through 15. Shane Nargan at 32. Despite his battle with Chadwick Blake lost, he jumps into the top 10, and he is 9th at points. 10th is Jake Curlin in the 76. We did get the information during the race that he was airlifted to a nearby hospital. The good news was that Curlin was awake and alert, but we do not know the injuries that he sustained. But we'll get an update on that. Jamie Scotty gets 11th in the number 9 Toyota for the point standings. Brandon Green continues to fall. He falls to 12th in points. I believe since that DNQ at Darlington, his momentum has just completely gone downhill. Tony Wider with his top 3 finish jumps up to 13th. Blake Vitagliana had a solid day. Wasn't great, but solid, but with a 14th place effort. And then rounding out the top 15 is Shane Harden in the number 59 Mobile One Ford. The next race we'll go back to California for our inaugural race at the Sacramento Speedway in Sacramento, California.